Hello, this is James. Today, I was playing on the ranked ladder and I encountered a number of Dragonic Knights decks, and this deck is actually pretty strong. It uses the Dragonic Knights search cards like Dragon Knight of Creation and Paladin of Felgrand in order to keep big juicy Dragon Knight monsters on the field. First, a disclaimer, I'm not playing with this deck. I haven't even gotten any of the cards for it yet because I want to see how good they are, and also we're having a new main box drop soon, so I want to. There's no rush. There's no rush to buy the Dragonic Knights deck. So this video is from the perspective of playing against the Dragonic Knights, because so when I was first playing against them, I almost lost a number of games due to time limits because I was reading the text, and each of them has like a paragraph of text. So I was trying to see how the loops worked and where the resources went. And I thought that this video might help with people trying to do just that and save others from having almost time limit losses and like 15-minute long duels, because you're trying to figure out what exactly the cards do. So we'll begin with Dragon Knight of Creation. You know he's good because they're only giving you one of him, and he's basically a search monster. His level is 8 during your opponent's turn, so during my turn. If he gets a kill, he can send a level 7 or 8 dragon to the graveyard. That's not necessarily going to happen all the time with only 1800 attack, but you can discard to target a level 7 or 8 dragon in the graveyard. Then you can tribute him, and you can special summon that monster. So he's like a Senju on steroids. He can search by getting a kill, and then he has a special summon condition for the monster. And then the other search and summon monster, which is a little more consistent, but his special summon condition is more restrictive, is Paladin of Felgrand. When he's normal summoned, you search a dragon monster and you equip it to the card, and he's unaffected by other monster effects while equipped with the equip card, and you can tribute a monster and him, then target one level 7 or 8 dragon type monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So they both share that tribute and then target. And for Paladin of the Felgrand, I almost had a heart attack because I was playing the water deck, and Archbrave has a strong counter to the water deck, and I'll discuss that in a minute. But so I read this as you contribute one monster and this card, then target one level 7 or 8 dragon type. So you tribute him, his equipped dragon goes to the graveyard, and then you can just choose that dragon. But that's not how Paladin of the Felgrand works. You have to have a legitimate target, another level 7 or 8 dragon type in the graveyard already before you can activate his effect. And then once his effect is activated, and once his effect is engaged, you can target his equip monster, because now that's in the graveyard, but you cannot tribute him without a legitimate target. And the same thing for Dragon Knight of Creation, but that's less relevant. And then some of the other cards that people are using from this deck are obviously Archbrave Dragon, and this is very interesting. It's a hard check to Archfiends and the water deck. So right, not Dragonic Knight, Dragon Knight of Creation and Paladin of the Felgrand, both of them special summon dragons from the graveyard. And if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can banish as many face-up spell trap cards as your opponent controls as possible, and he gains attack. And if he is sent to the graveyard during standby phase of the next turn, not the opponent's next turn, the next turn, you can target dragon except for Archbrave and special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon and special summon it. So even the boss monsters are keeping boss monsters on the field. So that's Yeah, Archbrave, not Draconic Knight so much. Dragon Knight of Creation. So basically what the takeaway is, these two are search monsters, and they have a condition that special summons dragons from the graveyard, but there already needs to be a dragon in the graveyard for that to work. Archbrave is something you should be afraid of if you are playing against, playing with Archfiends or the Water deck. Some of the other cards that people use. Here's a good one. Castle of Dragon Souls. Once per turn, you can banish a dragon and from the grave, and a monster you control gains 700 attack. That's not too crazy, but when this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished dragon-type monsters, special summon that target. So it banishes, and then when it gets sent to the graveyard via storm or something else, you can special summon another boss monster. You can only control one Castle of Dragon Souls. But how are we going to how are we going to how are we going to send our Castle of Dragon Souls to the graveyard? What's the good combo for that card? So here I have some of, not this one just yet, some captured decks. So these are Dragonic Knights players that I played against on the ladder, and I beat them, and I'm going to show some replays of that and talk more about the Dragonic Knights. But here's something of their strategy. So you can use the Castle of Dragon Souls with Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. So this is the one that gave me the most trouble because it has the most text and it's the most obtuse. But if a monster is special summoned except from the graveyard while you control a level 7 or 8 dragon type monster, the face-up special summon monster has its effects negated until the end of the turn. So that's your whale in your water deck. That's your first Lord of Horror in your Archfiend deck when he's special summoned by effect of Call of the Archfiend. And that happens not just with your big boss dragon, but with your I keep saying Draconic Knight, your Dragon Knight of Creation, because he's a level 8 during your opponent's turn. So on my turn, you know, when I'm special summoning my monster, Draconic Knight and Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords, the continuous field spell, negates its effect. And then once per turn, you can send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard. Special summon one Dragon Lord token. So the Dragon Lord, so that's sending an Archbrave Dragon back to the graveyard to get rid of more continuous spells, and then you get a Dragon Lord token, which is a dragon type, and you can use that for Dragon's Rebirth. Dragon's Rebirth lets you tribute a dragon type, and so you tribute the worthless token, and then you special summon a level 5 or higher dragon from your hand. I'm doing that from memory. And then finally, if this card, so you send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard. That's the Castle of the Lost Dragon Souls. So you send your Lost Dragon Souls to the graveyard. You get the Dragon Lord token. You may or may not take combo that with the Dragon's Rebirth, but then you can use the Castle of Lost Dragon Souls. You can use that effect to you, the opponent, use the Castle of Lost Dragon Souls to special summon your banished dragon type monster from earlier in the turn, earlier in the game. And then finally, if this card is in your graveyard, you can send one level 7 or 8 dragon type monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. So you can use this you can reuse it in order to get the effect of Darkstorm Dragon. Darkstorm Dragon says after he's been Gemini summoned, you can send a face-up spell or trap card you control to the graveyard, destroy all spells and traps. So that could be either the Lost Dragon Soul Castle or Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. And the nice thing about Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords is you can add it back to your hand right? So Darkstorm Dragon sends ruins to the grave, and then you can send one of your numerous high-level dragon monsters to the graveyard and recover ruins, and then clear back row all over again. So this particular deck, it's a Kaiba, and he was using the beatdown skill. I just have this on Pegasus because I didn't mind overwriting some of my Pegasus decks because I need to make better Mind Scan decks. He's using Guardian of the Felgrand, which is a more restrictive version of Paladin of the Felgrand, because you can only equip dragons from the hand or graveyard, whereas Paladin lets you get the dragons from the deck. So that's a very powerful search. Besides Archbrave banishing spells, we have our Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's another boss monster. And finally, with Draconic Knights, playing Burst Stream of Destruction makes sense. So back in the Kaiba Man days, you had to have Kaiba Man, you had to have Blue Eyes, and you had to have your Blue Eye Burst Stream of Destruction all in your hand in order to get that combo. But now you can play your Paladin, you can search out your Blue Eyes, and then you can tribute. So you can tribute Paladin of the Felgrand. A good combo with him is Dinotherium. So you normal summon Paladin, equip, and then special summon Dinotherium, and then you contribute those two and get out your Blue Eyes. And then Blue Eyes can use Burst Stream of Destruction, and then Blue Eyes can't attack. But again, this deck assumes that you're getting lots and lots of high-level dragons. So your Blue Eyes can't attack, but your Archbrave Dragon definitely can. And some other stuff. Majesty of Eyes of Blue. Send one Blue Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Target one face-up monster on the field, cannot attack. So it's just awestruck by the Blue Eyes monster. Another neat combo with this deck is he's using Dawn Knight, and when Dawn Knight is sent from the field to the graveyard, let's see here. So yeah, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one light monster from your deck to the graveyard. So that's another search, essentially. That's another search. If you have Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords, you normal summon your Dawn Knight, and then you send your light type big dragons to the graveyard. They really weren't kidding when they said this Draconic Knights combos with the Draconic Fusion skill, because you're sending all these dragons to the graveyard, and then if you can get your Dragon's Mirror. Dragon's Mirror can then summon your big five-headed, your ultimate dragon boss, your five-headed dragon from the extra deck, but using all those banished, not banished, all of those graveyard dragon types, and even one of the search monsters is itself a dragon type. So this is instead of a Blue Eyes deck, it's a Red Eyes deck, and he has all of the Red Eyes dancing cards, and he's also using Release Restraint Wave in order to release Restraint Wave. So this is kind of like the Darkstorm Dragon combo. Release Restraint Wave, he's going to use it on his Paladin of the Felgrand, on the equipped dragon on his back there, and blow up all of the spells and traps. And if it's an Archbrave Dragon, you can, on your opponent's turn, you can get a Red Eyes from the grave. So there's some neat draconic combos. All right, and finally, we're going to take a look at our replays, and these battles really did almost go south for me, purely because I was trying to read the cards. First one is against Kaiba, and he's using his beatdown skill in order to take advantage of the high-level dragons that this deck is good at summoning many of. He gets his blue eyes out like 3 times. It's silly. We activate our balance, and I'm playing my Deathless Frog deck with the Treeborn Frog. You contribute take repeatedly with enemy controller. So here, alright, so here's the runes of the Divine Dragonoids, and it took me like all of the time I had for my first turn, so turn 2, to like read this card. But now we know negates a special summon monster, negates its effect for that turn if you have the dragon out. You can discard it, you can discard cards for a dragon token, and you can recycle it. And then he summons his Paladin of the Felgrand and equips it with Archbrave. Now here's the Dawn Knight combo. Normal summon Dawn Knight, and then, not discard, you send 1 face-up card you control. So normal summons the Dawn Knight, sends Dawn Knight to the graveyard, and then Dawn Knight searches the blue eyes. Now he has a legitimate target for Paladin of the Felgrand, and he tributes that whole mess for his Archbrave Dragon. And had I had my full board out, had I had all established and thought, as water decks often do, that I had the duel in the bag, I would have been very upset. But he instead attacks into my Screech because of all the banishing. He attacks into my Screech, and I get my water monsters out. And here we're going to do my favorite play: your monster, my monster, my monster. More of my monsters. Fishborg is gonna do us justice. We're gonna tribute his Archbrave for my Mecha Sea Dragon, and we still have can special summon our whale. But I'm still afraid of that Archbrave, so we get Wall Disrupted. And then we're gonna activate the Sea Stealth. But I'm like really pressed for time. I only have like 11 or 15 seconds left. Since Archbrave got sent to the graveyard from the Sea Stealth kill, he gets to special summon a non-Archbrave dragon from his graveyard. But he doesn't attack because I have the Sea Stealth. But it's a measure of how pressed I was for time that I didn't banish either one of my guys to refresh their attack, because I just didn't have enough time. So we're going to special summon our Citadel Whale for our 2 water monsters, and then so this is the Ruins effect taking place since he has his dragon out, since he has his dragon on the field. Ruins is going to negate my Citadel Whale's effect, but you can chain to it obviously. So we're going to get our Sea Stealth, but no negating targeting cards for the whale this turn. So if I had been in a more tighter position, that's definitely something I would have wanted to take into account when I just went out of my way to special summon another Citadel Whale. We get the Fishborg, and then we use Mecha Sea Dragon Plesion's effect to tribute the Fishborg and destroy the ruins. We reduce the ruins to rubble. He powerful rebirths for his Paladin of the Felgrand, and I go ahead and refresh the Plesion, and then Paladin gives him his second Archbrave, and then since Archbrave got sent to the graveyard, there's a Plesion back, so everybody's nice and topped up. Since Archbrave got sent to the graveyard, he gets to special summon his Blue Eyes again, and then he sends Blue Eyes to the grave to recycle his ruins. And I think he didn't quite have the cards that he needed, but still, like, special summoning 3 Blue Eyes and like repeatedly is a force to be reckoned with. So here's our last replay. This is using the Draconic Fusion skill with the Dragonic Knights deck, and like I said before, this deck you sending all those dragons to the graveyard, including Dragonoid of Creation, who is also a dragon. Very good for summoning I keep wanting to call it the 5-headed thunder dragon. The 5 dragon. The 5 god. We activate our balance skill. And here we make the only play we can make, which is Legendary Ocean and then Mechaplasion. He does the Red Eyes dance. Red Eyes to the grave. Spirit to the hand. And then sets a bunch of stuff. So if we can get our Citadel Whale Sea Stealth, we're definitely going to do that. And so our own Citadel Whale Dance, and he passes because he wants us to attack, and we attack into a Red Eyes Wyvern, and so this is another ridiculous dragon special summon, right? If you did that normal summon, you can banish this card and special summon a Red Eyes. But instead of that, he uses Paladin. Paladin searches out his Archbrave from the deck, very strong, and now he has 2 monsters out, so we're getting swarmed with dragons. He attacks my Fro. Fro goes to the grave and will not be revived because I have all of this stuff on the field. And here, this is very frightening. So before I attack, so now I'm wiser to Archbrave. I know that it banishes all the face-up spell and traps. But I figure if I can just destroy the Paladin, then that's not, because then he goes to the graveyard and then he can't special summon himself. So the only thing that's going to let him get off his Archbrave Banish combo is by surviving this turn with either a Curse or a Windstorm, and now he can target one of his, I think he has another Red Eyes in there, target one of his Red Eyes, tribute these 2 monsters, okay, and then now Archbrave is in the dragon. Archbrave can be special summoned by the effect of Paladin of the Felgrand, and then just like banish my precious board. So even though I was thinking like, okay, the only thing that can mess up my board right now is Curse, because Curse is going to protect his monsters and then he's going to get Archbrave. And it was Curse, but he does not get the Archbrave out. Instead, he normal summons a Red Eyes. Instead, he normal summons his Red Eyes, and the ending of this duel doesn't exactly matter. We are victorious, but I need to watch out for those Archbraves, as we all do if we're going to continue playing Water. And in here, oh my god, like these cards just won't stay in the graveyard. So he uses his Warrior Returning Alive, gets his Paladin, and searches yet another Red Eyes. He surrenders because he can't break the board, but if he had a 3rd Archbrave, that would have been a strong possibility. So watch out for the Archbrave, Dinotherium, Paladin of the Felgrand combo if you're playing a deck that relies on face-up continuous spells or traps. I hope that this has given you insight into the Draconic Knights deck on the ladder. Thank you for watching.